What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm joined by Shane Young to create a flow that asks people if they want to join our newsletter. All right, what's up, guys? So I am here with Shane Young. You know Shane, Power Apps 911, the zebra. What was it, Shane? Striped zebras. What is it?
Bold zebras. Come on, if you're gonna use my old company, you gotta use it right. I was bold.
Bold zebras. Shane is the man. He has almost 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. He makes Power Apps and Flow content all the time, and so luckily, have him to join us today for a very special experiment we're doing. We've decided we're going to get together and we're going to produce a video where Shane's going to do some teaching on flow, and yours truly is going to do what he does best and interrupt and throw shade. But Shane, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm very excited. I feel this is a fun little game, right? Not game's the wrong word, but it's a humbling experience. We're going to try and see, can we produce content to, introduce, right? Because, you're the world's smartest flow person. I'm the world's best looking Power Apps person.
By far. And so we want to figure out, because we want to crossbreed some content here, can we crossbreed? Can we post it on both channels and just roll with it? So for my viewers that don't know who you are, John, give us that background. Give us the 411 on why you are the best flow guy on the planet. Oh man, steep introduction there. So my name's John Levesque. I am on the Microsoft Flow team. I'm a senior program manager, but I function as the evangelist. I travel the world. I talk about flow. I hang out with the community. I do the social media and meet with the customers and all of the fun stuff. And so I don't know if I'm the best flow person in the world, but I know all the best flow people in the world, which makes me a great person to know in this realm. And then on my side of things, you guys know me very well, but Shane, why don't you take a second and introduce yourself to everybody?
So my name is Shane Young. Shane Young. What is my name? My name is Shane Young. I'm with Power Apps 911, those guys. And today's show, that's my typical YouTube intro. But no, I'm a guy. I own a company called Power Apps 911. I am not like you at Microsoft. I'm one of these third-party people. But we do Power Apps consulting and training. And it turns out to do Power Apps consulting, you have to get really good at Flow, because the Power Platform, right, brings in Power Apps, it brings in Flow, it brings in Power BI. And so we're a small consulting company that just does a bunch of that type of stuff, which affords me the opportunity to play with not only Power Apps, which I love, but cool flows like this. And it means I get to hang out with people like you. So it's kind of fun.
Heck yeah. So Shane, what are we actually going to show everybody today?
So what I thought we would do, is you're just like me, right? A guy who goes and speaks at conferences all over the world. I forget how many keynotes you've done this year, because you're kind of a big deal. 10?
10 this year. I got one more. I've done 9 so far. I got one more.
Oh man, I hope no assassin stops you from getting to that 10th one, right? They're like, he can't have 10. But anyway, so one of the things that we often get when we go and present at these sessions is we get spreadsheets with the different people who signed up for our stuff. They want more information from us. They want to, they were at the show, those type of things. And as a small business owner, right, there's a lot of scenarios where we get those type of spreadsheets. Yeah. And what most vendors like to do is to say, oh, I got a list of people's names. I'm going to shove them all into my MailChimp or other email spamming system and give these people no say.
I'm afraid for Ignite coming up because I know it's going to happen.
Yeah, right. It is small. It is marketing 101. You gotta show your value by shoving leads into your mailing list.
That's right.
Well, and as a guy who gets those emails, right? What do those emails do? One, they annoy the crap out of me because I don't want your spam. And two, they make me not like your company. So then I just go and unsubscribe. So you paid money to aggravate me. I don't think that's good marketing.
No, that's not a good lead cost there.
No. So what I came up with was a Microsoft Flow where I can take that spreadsheet and we're going to send all the people on that one email and say, hey, we met you at blah, blah, blah.
Awesome.
Would you like to be added to our mailing list? Yes or no? And when they
Ah,
click yes, instead of making them, they're going to go fill out a form. I already know their name and email. Why would I make them do things that computers already can do?
yes.
We're going to use the power of flow to take the information, take the fact that they said yes, and just put them into the mailing list tool from there. So people
Boom.
are self-selecting. Now the people that get my spam want my spam. And so
Perfect.
it's a win-win.
Awesome. Okay. So then you're going to go ahead and share the screen and show us how this is done. And I'm stoked because I'm recording this, making this video for everyone. And when this is done, I'm going to steal this flow because unfortunately, this is one flow I have not created. I do get all these lists of people and I'm still BCCing everybody. Ah, yeah. Cool. So I'm stoked for this.
Oh, well, yeah. And so the exciting part about this is we're going to get into child flows, right? They've been like the hot button issue the last few days.
Brand new stuff.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about that a little different. So let me hit share here. Okay. So the first thing maybe we should do is let's just look at an example of one of these spreadsheets. I'm sure that no one that's watching this has ever seen a spreadsheet before. So
No,
guys,
no.
it's an Excel. Um, so typically what I do is when I get these spreadsheets, they are just piles of columns of crap that is no one likes. I don't even understand, right? And so I just grab and I copy the first name column, the last name column, and the email address. So if you'd like to email my dog, there he is. All right, you guys have met
Yep.
Chewy before? Chewy?
Oh man, I don't know if my viewers know Chewy, but Shane viewers definitely know Chewy.
Chewy's got his own stickers, his own toys. Chewy's a beast.
He is. Now, one thing to call out here, Shane, in this is that you got to have a table, right? If you're working in Excel with Flow, notice his data is formatted in a table. A Flow can't read an Excel file without a table in it. So make sure that all your data is formatted as a table before you start trying to work with a Flow.
John, you have officially provided more value than I expected in this whole process in the first 5 minutes. You are
Perfect.
amazing. The bar has been set. You have exceeded it. You can just go to sleep for the rest of the conversation.
Awesome. I'm going to sit here and drink coffee.
There you go. So perfect point. Yes, it's got to be a table of data. The other thing that you want to be real careful about, because I make this mistake a lot, is OneDrive for Business in the browser like this doesn't share the Excel file very well. So a lot of times when you're writing these flows, you're like, I got the Excel open, I got the flow open. It turns out Flow and Excel can't share the same file at the same time. So you want to make sure that you close out of this file before you actually try to run the flow. So
Yep. And it's
pro
better than
tip.
it used to be. It doesn't lock it every time, but Shane's right. You definitely want to exit out for best results.
All right, so let's jump over here and let's look at my flows. So somewhere in this list of flows, I have got a, believe it or not, it's a button flow. Where'd my button flow
Love
go?
this. This is a great list of flows.
There's a lot of it. There you go. I put it at the top, kind of edited it. Good job. So name your flows better than this. Mine is currently named button list rows present in the table. I don't know why I couldn't find that.
Yeah, that's so descriptive.
I know. And if you're wondering why it's grayed out, it's because I don't accidentally want to spam anyone. So I make sure I disable the flows. But so here we go. We're going to say edit the flow, and we're going to take a look at this. And so in these scenarios, because it's always a manually triggered process, I'm actually using a button flow. John, I know you're a big fan of button flows in general, so
Love
there's a
them.
chance to use it.
Yeah.
And so then what we're going to do is we're going to use the list rows present in a table action. And with that, what we do is we point it at OneDrive for Business, and then the document library is called OneDrive. And then we choose the actual file. And to John's point, we then choose the table in that particular Excel file.
Awesome.
Then what we're going to do is we're going to use an action called apply to each. And so the idea of apply to each is Flow is pretty smart. This is where it helps people that are like me and John who are not developers, and we don't always think about developer-y concepts. When I tell it to go get all those rows, it's like, oh, I got a table of data. If I try to add an action, it's like, oh, you know what? That's real cute. But I think Shane really meant he wanted to loop through the table. And so he needs to do this. He needs to apply to for every row that comes out of that data source. He wants to do this action. So Flow just bolted that in for me without me even having to realize it. Good job, Flow.
Yep. It's nice. It knows that there's an array of data, and it's like, Shane probably wants to do these things to each and every single one of these. It's so kind, Flo.
Kind and smart. I mean, it's a lot like my mom. It just takes care of me.
Oh, that's so nice. What
Very
a nice
nice
shout
mom
out to
hug.
mom. Shout out to mom.
There you go. Okay, and so then what we're going to do is we're going to go do this HTTP action. we're not ready to understand what this does yet. So we're not going to dive. We're going to come back to this in a second. But that's the idea. Is we want to trigger an action. We want to take action for every row. And in our case, what we're going to do is we're going to go run another flow, and we're using this control to do it.
Okay.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back over here and back to my list of flows. And so then down here, we will do my flow from flow. That was named at least a little bit better. And we'll edit this flow. And so the idea with this one is I took advantage of a special trigger. Remember, all your flows, right, for my viewers who don't do as many flows as your viewers do, all your flows have to have some type of trigger, the thing that makes it get started. And so in this example, we're using the one when an HTTP request is received. So this is saying, hey, flow, listen in on a URL, and then when you get the data in, then you're going to act upon that data.
Yep. And if you notice, this one says when an HTTP request is received, and in his previous flow, it said send an HTTP request. And so now here you're starting to understand these two things are going to try and talk to each other.
Which is very nice of them, right? So then down here, there is the whole request body JSON schema. John, I don't know about you, but all I can assume is that JSON is like some hipster thing, right? Where you don't use the A's anymore. So they decided to rename JSON to JSON. I don't know. That joke's probably getting old, but I like it.
I make fun of Jason all the time. He is a pain. He's everywhere though in Flow. Like to know Flow, you have to know Jason.
Yes. So now that we know that we need to understand the JSON that's coming in, let's switch back to our other flow, which I probably should have just left open in a tab to begin with. So let's go edit this critter. So over here, right, this starts to make a little more sense. We are going to post to that URL, right? So here they gave us URL. They even, because Flow loves us, gave us a little copy button to copy that URL. So we can paste that into here.
Quick caveat on that. If you go back to that flow real quick.
Yes, sir.
If you are building this from scratch, you will need to go ahead and put this action in place and then save your flow. If you don't save your flow, this URL actually won't be produced for you, and you'll be sitting there pulling your hair out trying to figure out why you can't get that URL. So put that action in place, save the flow, you'll then get that URL, and then you can come back and use it in your other steps.
You know what I just heard you say, John, is we should not use mine right here. We should just jump back over here and build our own flow just to show that.
Let's do it. I think that's a great idea.
All right, so we'll open up the create link. And I'm going to complain while we go through this, be even better. So I hate this whole new start from blank. I have to choose one of these. Here's what I do 100% of the time. I click on this thing and I say skip.
So that was going to be my suggestion. For those of you that are used to the old editor who don't want to do that, there is that skip option there.
Yes. So then now we're going to search for HTTP. Oh, look at that, HTTP. And so then what is the trigger? We want a HTTP trigger. Now it is a premium connector. I don't know if we want to really bother with any of that, but it is something you have to kind of think about. So then,
you were looking for the request.
I went to the wrong one. See, I get talking to you. All right. Well, you guys can watch me do the new and skip again. So then will this get me there? See what happens when you, thank you. Oh yeah. You're crushing this thing. You should help me with all my videos.
Hey, let's do this.
Okay, so then to John's point, so you can see up here the URL is not saved, not here yet. So typically what I would do when I wasn't messing all this up is I would jump back over here and I need to figure out what my JSON is going to be. And JSON is a scary word for us non-developers. So I don't use the word JSON when I teach my classes. I'm like, text in a curly bracket. That's really what JSON is to me.
Nice.
So I'm going to, I guess we'll just go type it over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, and one of the nice things about Flow is it goes ahead and if you give it the JSON, it will generate the schema for you, which is just its way of mapping the different properties.
Yep.
So I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to type it. We're going to show off how smart we are. And John's here to correct me if I get him wrong.
I love this. Look at him.
So we got some curly brackets, right? Because I told you JSON is just text in a curly bracket. So then we're going to say, all right, I want to give it the first name, like so. And then I'm going to put a colon after it. And then what are you going to pass for first name? I'm going to pass Shane. So that is valid JSON right there. And if we say done right now, what's going to happen is the tool goes ahead and it abstracts it. And it's like, oh, okay, so your schema is there's a property called first name and the data type is string. It wrote all that crazy JSON for me because I can't write that JSON by hand, but I can write this JSON. So now that we understand how that kind of works, we're just going to do some curly, oh, not a square bracket. How about a curly bracket? And so, John, if you see me mess up here, you just jump right in and tell me where I'm messing this up.
Okay.
So first name, colon, oh, we got to put it in quotes, right? So Shane, we're going to do a comma. I'm going to hit Shift Enter, just jump down to another line. We're going to do last name, colon, Young. And then finally, our last field was email address, right? So email.
I love that you're writing it out. This is awesome.
Yeah, I tried to, I don't like magic. I don't like, oh, let me cut and paste in some stuff and you figure out what I did.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the data that we wanted to pass from our Excel spreadsheet. Remember? First name, last name, email address.
Yep.
Cool, cool, cool. So now we say done, and Flow mapped it all out for us. Perfect. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call this the one where John helped. Friends reference for all you kids that haven't watched a bunch of Friends.
Love it.
Oh, we got to have a.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. My bad. You do have to have one trigger and one action.
All right. So what's our action? Let's go back over here. I remember what it is. It is, we're going to use the action called send email with options. So right down here. And so what send email with options is I don't know, John, if you'd explain it differently, but I consider this like a poor man's approval flow.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're the same price, so I don't know if I'd say poor man's, but I would say a less robust experience to allow someone to make a quick decision.
Gotcha. So the nice thing here, though, is approval flows can only go to people within your tenant. These can go to anybody. So that's the reason I had to switch to email with options here.
Got it.
And so then when the to field, oh, look at that. It's like, hey, would you like to make that dynamically the email address? I would. Subject.
Flo being smart and kind again.
It is so kind. Right. And so we won't write it all out, but want to join my mailing list. Actually, we'll stop filling this out. But this is the process we would then go through. And then when we hit save, now that we've got enough of the pieces in here.
Yep.
So then to John's point earlier, waiting. Now we have our URL to post. That was really what we were after here, was to talk about how you got this URL to show up. So, because when we were over here, I already had the URL, I already had the mapping. So now you know how that works.
Yep.
So then now we can just see in my send an email with option, I tried to be, all salesy, right? Hey, John, may we please add you to our mailing list? And then I give them a bunch of text and an explanation of what it is, why they should join. And the key thing up here, though, under user options, if you click yes, you get, we can trigger one thing. If you do no, we can trigger a different thing.
Awesome. So your email with options there is giving you the ability to then route flow actions based on which one's chosen.
Well said.
Awesome.
So, and when we want to route and flow, what do we use? We use a condition.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to say, hey, look, the selected option, right? Just a little dynamic content. We're used to that. Selected option is equal to yes. We do two things. The important thing is we add them to the mailing list. And once again, I'm not prompting them to go fill out a form. I'm not asking them for anything. I already know their name, their email address. It's what I needed to get them on my mailing list. So boom.
Love
there it
that.
is.
Love that.
I also, because I'm a dork, I send myself an email and say, look, the person I sent this to said yes.
Man,
I want to know.
You must get so many emails with all your newsletter confirmations.
I get a lot.
I bet.
And so if they say no over here, then what happens? The first version they said no, and then boo. Because I'm a dork, but I amuse myself when I get these sad emails. It's like, womp, womp, womp.
Absolutely. I think you should leave the boo. It definitely adds the perfect amount of personality to it.
So boo has been saved into our production flows. We're editing my production flows on the show here.
Excellent.
So that is what the flow is that we want to run. So if we switch back to this guy, now you can see what did we do? So we were posting to that URL to trigger that flow.
Yep.
We're passing it that crazy JSON guy without an A. And then we were just dynamically filling in the first name, the last name, and the email address from the row in Excel.
Awesome.
Boom. Now,
Boom.
one of the mistakes that I made very early in this process, because the first time I wrote this, I don't know, I might have broken it. But the first time I wrote this, I was like, all right, well, I want to apply to each. And instead of this HTTP action here, I had send an email and options here. I'm like, why do I need a child flow? I'm just going to pound these things out. Boom, 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 boom. The problem, I'm sure you know, but I'm guessing our viewers do not, is that when you do a send email with options, it waits until that first email is responded to before it sends the next one. So I had 500 people queued up. It sent the first email, and it was going to wait on that first person to respond before the second person got an email, and the third, and the fourth, and the fifth.
Yep.
So that was the reason I couldn't do this in one flow.
So there are some things that we could have done for you that would have allowed you to send up to 50 at one time, but
Enlighten me. I'm excited.
The flow still would have waited at 50. So if you go ahead and add that send an email with options action in there just for the fun of it.
I'm learning people just like you are right now. This is exciting. I was wearing a big heavy sweatshirt because it's like 30 degrees here, but I took it off. I knew I was going to get too worked up and too excited talking to John. I was like, I got to do this.
Okay, so go ahead and add that in.
All right. Boop.
Yep. And then click in the options there. There are three dots. And go to the settings.
The ellipse.
Yep. And then go to the settings. And now, oh, this action doesn't have it. Oh, I'm going to look stupid now.
Yeah!
Hold on. Cancel that out and let me hit the ellipsis one more time. Yeah, interesting. So this step doesn't have it. I take it back. So there are certain actions where we can actually set the concurrency control.
Really? I had no idea.
Yeah, so like in SharePoint, there's a concurrency control. A couple other actions have a concurrency control where typically Flow will run one thing at a time sequentially, where the concurrency control actually allows you to tell Flow to run 50. There it is. There's your apply to each concurrency control on. Go ahead and turn it on right there. And now look at that. We can move the slider up to 50 at a time.
I had no idea this was here. I'm glad. Well, teamwork to make the dream work here. So,
yes.
So to your point of my list of 500, I could have then sent them out in batches of 50
instead of one,
which would have been better, but still would not have been.
It's not the solution you're looking for, but definitely could have moved things along a little bit faster.
Well, no, and this is super interesting, right? Like I said, when John and I did not rehearse, if you know either one of us, you know there was no planning that went into this call. Yep. But so I had never seen that before, because one of the things that I do a lot with Flow, for better or for worse, so don't judge me, is we do like what I refer to as poor man's ETL. Apparently poor man is the name of this episode. But so the idea is that, like I want to take an Excel spreadsheet and I want to go upload it to my SQL database. So I'll pass it in and then I'll apply to each and I'll just go write each row. And I might be writing 1,000 rows in some of my customer cases. Today, to your point, the apply to each goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it takes hours to run. So in their scenario, it would totally speed this thing up if I said apply to each and run 50 concurrency. This is like my mind's melting of all the customer scenarios that I can go fix. So I didn't know about this.
I'm gonna be terrible right now and do a shameless plug. I have a brand new Udemy course that just came out. I talk about concurrency control. I talk about a lot of advanced things like this that will help you speed up your flows, make more efficient flows, make better flows. And so I'll go ahead and drop a link in the description in my version of this video as well.
Well, so tell my viewers, do they just go to Udemy and search for John Levesque?
Or udemy.com and search my name, or search 10 advanced tips to build effective Microsoft flows. My name is probably easiest. I have a couple classes up there. When you search me, you'll see both of them. There's a beginner version and now this more advanced one. But concurrency is one of the things we talk about in depth in there.
So I've never been to Udemy, so I search for anything. So then I can just come up here and type in John Levesque. Oh, look at that. It even suggests your name. You're so popular.
Oh, I'm like in the top 10. Nice.
Look at
There you go.
you.
And then my courses are down there. And then it's the 10 advanced tips course. Oh, look at that. There's a big sale right now, too. You can get my class for $10.
Look at us. Once again, folks, we did not plan any of this, so pretty cool. Nice. All right. I had no idea. I'm gonna pester you later for a free coupon because I wanna go learn these advanced techniques. But pretty cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, Shane, man, thanks so much for this. This has been fun.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
I feel like we should do this more often.
We should. So, I guess the biggest thing is, so down in the comments below, leave us both comments and be like, hey, I either hate the format because, you can't stand the idea that John interrupted me and that's very rude of him. Or you can be like, hey, I really love that there's someone finally there to pester you, Shane, and annoy you. I mean, help you along the way as you struggle.
That's right. That's right.
So, but
Awesome.
yeah, comments like that. Be sure to subscribe to both of our channels. I'm, Shane Young Cloud out on YouTube. And John, I don't know what your channel is.
John L. Seattle.
John L. Seattle. So check out our channels. We want to see, how do you guys feel about this cross-pollination? Is this good, bad, indifferent? Let us know.
Awesome. Thanks, Shane.
Thank you, John.
All right, so that's it. If you want to see more videos with me and Shane together, go ahead and leave a comment and let us know that you liked the format. In the meantime, though, also go ahead and check the description for all Shane's links so you can find his Twitter and his YouTube channel, because just like me, he's doing tutorials like this every single week. All right, guys, you know what to do. Click like, click subscribe so that you don't miss another video. Much love from me. I'll see you in the next one.